Okay, this video, again, looking at substitution, just a little bit trickier because we're now looking at substituting with negative numbers and decimals, as you can see here. So it says find the value of the following when a is -3 and b is 1.8. And just the way this video is going to work is I've got 4 questions I'll go through here, then you can try 4 yourself afterwards. Okay, the key thing here is, right, that we substitute using brackets. Really, really important. So this first one is we've got 3b, which again just means 3 times b plus 2 times a, but we substitute using brackets. Substitute just meaning replacing. So we've got 3 times b is equal to 1.8, so 3 bracket 1.8. I'm just replacing b with 1.8, and I'm adding on 2 lots of my a value. A is equal to -3, so I substitute a as -3, and I use a bracket. Okay, that's really, really important. So 3 times by 1.8 is equal to 3, 18, 24, 5.4. 3 times 1.8 is 5.4, so 5.4. Again, this means 3 times the bracket 1.8 because 3b means 3 times b. And then we've got 2. If we just look at this part here, okay, 2 times -3 is -6. So I've got this plus, then I've got 2 times by -3 is -6. Okay, and we know from class, right, the first number stays the same. We've got 5.4. If you're adding cold air to a room, you're getting colder, so you can replace the plus minus with a minus. So 5.4 take away 6, which is equal to 5.4 take away 6 is equal to -0.6. Okay, this stuff here, right, this is the topic. So when you've got like the plus minus signs together, that is the topic called directed numbers. So directed numbers. So if you look for that on my playlist, if this is stuff that you kind of struggle with, this is probably one of the most important topics in maths, okay, because if we're getting this stuff wrong, it comes up in loads of topics, right? You can look at that on my playlist. This stuff is directed numbers. Anyway, our answer for the first one is -0.6, okay? Good. The second one, let's get it in red again. We've got find the square root of a squared where a is -3. Okay, so if we go and replace our a value, so let's go and write the square root of a squared, well, a is equal to -3, so bracket -3, and then you've got to go and square that -3, and it's really, really important you write a bracket here. If you didn't write the bracket, then it doesn't really make sense for the question because it won't work out because it'll give you root minus 9. You've got to have the bracket in there. That's really important because you're doing here the square root, that's equal to the square root, -3 squared is equal to +9. Because 3 minus 3 times by -3 gives you positive, so you've got a positive 9. Okay? And the square root of 9 is equal to 3. It could also be -3 because -3 times by -3 is 9. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to take it as 3. So the square root of 9 is just 3. Okay? But really important you have the bracket there. If you wrote this, okay, as the root of -3 and squared, that would give you, well, on your calculator, more specifically, right, it would give you root -9, which will give you an error. You cannot square root a minus number unless you look at A-level maths, further maths, but that's way beyond where we are. So you've got to have, what I'm just trying to say is you've got to make sure you substitute using brackets. Really, really important. Okay, so 3 is our answer for this one. 3, that is your answer. Good. Okay, next one, we've got 9 divided by a plus b. So just substitute in your values. So we've got 9 divided by a. A is equal to -3, so dividing by -3, and we're adding on our b value, which is 1.8, and again, substitute using a bracket. 9 divided by -3 is -3, because you've got 1 positive divided by 1 negative, you get a negative answer, so 9 divided by 3 is 3, and it's negative, and you're adding on that 1.8, well, -3 add 1.8, it's going to give you -1.2. Okay, so -3 at 1.8 is equal to -1.2. And that is our answer for that one. Okay, -1.2. And let's highlight that so we can see what's going on. Good, good, good. Okay, last but not least, we've got -2a bracket a squared plus 2b. It looks more complicated. Just literally write out what is there, but substitute in your values using brackets. We've got minus 2 lots of my a value is equal to -3. So I replace I substitute a with -3. I've then got this next bracket, so another bracket, a squared. A is equal to -3, so I've got -3, but I've got to go and square that value. So square it, and I'm adding on 2 lots of b b is equal to 1.8, so 2 lots of 1.8. I close the bracket, and I've got this final bracket here at the end, just kind of keeping the whole thing together. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of brackets, but really important to look at this properly. So I've got the first part, this bit here, I've got negative 2 times by minus 3. Timesing two negatives, you get a plus answer, so positive 6. We then got this bracket, minus 3 squared, or negative 3 times by negative 3 will give you plus 9. I've then got plus 2 times by 1.8. 2 times 1.8 is equal to 3.6, so plus 3.6, close bracket. And then we go and look at the bracket first. It's now BIDMAS. Well, it's been BIDMAS the whole time. Okay, I did the indices part first, or looking at the brackets first. So I've got 6 times by bracket 9 and 3.6 is equal to 12.6. Close the bracket. And again, right, this means you've got 6. You're timesing that by 12.6, which is a bit of an awkward one. So that's going to work it out over here. So let's go and do that up here. So we've got 126. We're timesing it by 6, and we'll deal with the decimal point later. 6 by 6 is 36. 6 times 2 is 12 out of 3 is 15. 6 times 1 is 6 out of 1 is 7. The 6 times 12.6 is going to give us 75.6. Okay, using a bit of common sense, well, 6 times 12 is roughly 72. So 75.6 sounds very good. 75.6 is our answer for the last one. Okay, and let's highlight it. There we go. Good, good, good. So the same principle as the last video, substituting and using brackets, and that's it. So you can now try 4 questions yourself, and then that's going to be it for this video. So you can pause the video, go towards the end, you'll see all the answers, and you can work through with me any that you got wrong. Okay, the first one, we've got 2 times b take away 3 times a. Again, substituting using brackets. My b value is equal to 3.2, so 2 times bracket 3.2. And I'm taking away 3 lots of my a value. A is equal to minus 2. So 2 times 3.2, because 2b means 2 times. 2 times 3.2 is 6.4. And I've then got, and be a little bit, you could look at this in different ways, right? You could look at it either as 3 times negative 2, or you could look at it as minus 3 times negative 2. I'm going to look at it as minus 3 times minus 2, which is equal to, times into negatives, you get a plus 6. So you've got 6.4. This goes to plus 6. Okay. You could also look at it a little bit differently. You could look at it as this, okay, which would be, you've got the minus there. So you've got the minus, and then you've got 3 times by negative 2, which is minus 6. Minus 6 gives you plus 6. 2 negatives give you that 6. So either way, you get the same thing, looking at it in 2 different ways. Okay. So 6.4 add 6 is equal to 66, so 12.4 is our answer for the first one. Okay, good. The second one, we've got the square root of a to the 4. A nice one, so we've got the square root. A is equal to minus 2, and we're putting that to the power of 4. Okay, well, minus 2 to the power of 4, it means you're doing minus 2 times by itself 4 times, so 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Minus 2 times by minus 2 gives you plus 4. So again, minus 2 times by minus 2 gives you plus 4. So actually it will give you a positive answer. So you've got 4, you've then got times by 4 is equal to 16. So minus 2 to the power of 4 is equal to, we've got the square root still there, so the square root, and then this part here gave us 16. So we've got the square root of 16, which we know is 4. Again, it could be plus or minus 4. Minus 4 squared is 16, but for the sake of this video, 4 is absolutely fine. Okay, so 4 is your answer for the second one. Okay, third one, we've got a divided by 2 plus 2b. A is equal to minus 2, so substitute it in using a bracket, and we're dividing by 2. And we're adding on 2 lots of b. B is equal to 3.2. So minus 2 divided by 2, well, 2 divided by 2 is 1, but it's negative, so minus 1. And 2 times by 3.2 is 6.4, so plus 6.4. So this, you could look at it as 6.4 take away 1, which is just 5.4. Okay, and that is our third answer. Last but not least, it looks a bit trickier, but just go through it, substituting in the values of a and b with their numbers. So we've got minus 3 bracket a squared, where a is equal to minus 2. So you replace a with minus 2. We're then squaring that minus 2, and we are adding on 2 lots of our b value. B is equal to 3.2. Okay, and then we close the main bracket. There we go. So we've got that negative 3. We've then got our bracket. Minus 2 squared will give you plus 4. We've then got 2 times by 3.2, which is positive 6.4. Okay, so we go and look at our bracket. We've got minus 3. Bracket 4 add 6.4 is equal to 10.4. So this really means numbers grouped together in maths means we're doing negative 3 times by 10.4, which is equal to, well, 3 times 10.4 will give you 31.2, but it's negative 3 times 10.4, so it's going to give you minus 31.2. 10, 20, 30, 4, 8, 12. 31.2 is your answer for this one. So minus 31.2 is your answer. Okay, good. If you got all of that correct, that is fantastic. If you need to, you can rewind and go through anything you need to. But that is it for substitution at the grade 4 level. Thank you.